Now, the festive season is just around the corner, and with it comes all sorts of cyber scams where criminals target unsuspecting victims via messaging, dating apps, social media, crypto and other apps. Well, one such platform is WhatsApp, and since it's the most popular mobile messaging platform in the country, and although it has built-in security features, these don't guarantee to protect one from scammers. And worse still, scammers have devised clever ways of swindling unsuspecting victims out of large sums of money. Well, we've invited Mudiwa Gavaza, Business Day tech analyst and journalist, to shed some light on methods employed by scammers. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Late Edition.
Thank you so much, Judith.
Tell us about the latest scam. I'm saying the latest scam because it's the one that seems to be making the rounds. And that's when a person's WhatsApp is hacked, and the perpetrators are then able to use the WhatsApp to send messages to one's contacts. How does that all work?
So people have been hacking, into WhatsApp, for a number of years now. But what seems to change is the method that they use, to gain access into people's phones. So there are a number of different ways, in which this is happening. Probably the one that has happened, that we've been hearing about for probably the longest is where people get embroiled in what are called SIM swap, SIM swap scams, where basically someone goes and manages to do an unauthorized SIM swap, and then through there, they're then able to gain access because your WhatsApp tends to be tied to your phone number. So if someone is able to do a SIM swap, now they have access to a SIM with your number. They can receive the verification pins. They can receive the verification calls, which means they can take control of your WhatsApp. So that has probably been one of the biggest ways in which things are happening. More recently, we have also seen some of the scammers slash hackers gaining access by finding ways to add one of their devices to your WhatsApp. WhatsApp allows you to have four different devices logged in at the same time, right? So what the scammers have been able to do is to find ways where they can have one of their devices, being the one, that is logged in. From there, they can monitor who you contact, how you talk, how you message, that type of thing, the relationships that you have, and then, start messaging people. And in many instances, trying to solicit money, acting as if it's you.
How do they actually do that, though, if they don't have your phone? Doesn't your primary device, so my cell phone, doesn't that need to authorize at least other devices? I know that there's if you connect to WhatsApp web on a computer, on a laptop, you have to scan that code. If they don't have that code, how are they doing it?
There's many different ways in which these things are happening right now. One of the ones that people are being warned against is downloading, especially images from people that are not saved in their contacts, because especially in the WhatsApp groups, people are forwarding messages, voice clips, videos, all of this stuff. And what some people are doing is that they are embedding what's called malware, which is basically, pieces of malicious software in some of these images that are constantly being forwarded out there. And if you make the mistake of opening one of these corrupted files, it's very possible for someone to actually gain access to your phone, where they can actually control certain aspects of it. So that's probably one of the big ways in which we have actually been seeing people doing this type of thing.
Now, there's advice often provided by experts, including some of the following points that I'll go through now. How do these help consumers from being attacked? And we'll start with the first one, using virtual cards for one-time online payments and then cancelling them afterwards. Is that a good idea?
It's It is a good idea because at least it's it's for one-time use, and if someone was able to gain access to it, they wouldn't be able to continue using it, into the future. But before we even get into what's actually going to happen, probably one of the biggest pieces of advice that's there is that everyone should stay vigilant. In many instances, people feel like they are not going to be the ones to be targeted. I was talking to a cybersecurity expert recently, and he called it costly confidence. That people often think someone else is going to be a victim of a scam and that it's not going to be them, or that they think they know that how to spot a scam. So that's usually the first thing to do. Be vigilant, and then from there we can get into some of the major tips and tricks.
The other thing is to know what's installed on your phone. Only load authentic mobile apps that you need. And obviously, just check what you have got on your phone every now and again and clear out stuff that's perhaps a bit dated.
Yes, most certainly. Firstly, it's making sure that you are downloading your apps from verified platforms. If you are on, until recently, you could only download apps for iPhones or iOS devices through the App Store. But as the different legal battles around the world have been going on, we've started seeing Apple opening up downloading apps from other third parties. On Android, this has been possible for many different years, and has actually been a way in which some people are able to load malicious content onto people's devices, those unverified apps. So Google Play Store, App Store, usually a good point to start when it comes to downloading apps. And then, apart from knowing what apps you're downloading, also check to see where your specific apps are actually logged in. WhatsApp allows you to actually check what devices are logged in. If you just go to settings, you can actually go and actually check that, and so do many different platforms as well. Your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Googles, etc. They can actually tell you what devices you're logged in, and it's always good to check every once in a while just to make sure that there isn't a suspicious device that's there.
I've been told to wrap up the interview and I don't want to. I want to chat to you the whole night. I'm really enjoying this conversation and also being able to work out what is happening out there. My last question for you, and if you keep the answer quite brief, that would be great. Are certain devices or handsets, I'm talking about different brands, are certain brands more or less susceptible to this malware, to this hacking, and to these scams?
Well, up until recently, I know that people in the community might, throw tomatoes at me, but I would say your vulnerabilities would have tended, at least from that point of view, to be on the Android side because you were able to gain apps from third-party sources, unverified sources, and load them onto your device. It's a little bit more secure on the iOS/iPhone side. But like I said, the opening up of the App Store and where you can get those apps, it does introduce a vulnerability.
Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense. That was Mudiwa Gavazo, Business Day tech analyst and journalist, chatting to us now about scams to look out for during the holiday season.